students, I, Mrs. Madhvi Matre, welcome you all in the next lecture of Mathematics 1. In the previous lecture, we have started with chapter number 2, Real Numbers. And in that, we have studied about properties of rational numbers. We saw various properties of rational numbers, and in that only we are going to go ahead. I will suggest you that before watching this video, that means you have started this video, so you can pause it here and you can watch the first video of this chapter first, so that you can get better revision of this. Why? Because we were having a break of nearly 10 days in between because of your first online assessment. Okay, so to understand the chapter better, I will advise you to see that first part of the video before seeing this video first. Okay, obviously it is your wish. If you want to see that, you can see, otherwise you can continue with this video. Okay, so in the previous lecture we have seen the properties of rational numbers, which are like addition of rational numbers is orderless. There we have seen commutative property and associative property. Commutative means for two numbers the addition is orderless, also the multiplication is orderless. And associative property is for three numbers. Okay, that means if we add in any order, then also the addition is same. Similarly for multiplication. Then we have studied about the additive identity and multiplicative identity. You know that 0 is a additive identity. If we add 0 to any number, we are going to get answer as the same number. Similarly, 1 is called as multiplicative identity. If we multiply any number by 1 or 1 by any number, we are going to get the same number. And finally, we have seen additive inverse and multiplicative inverse. For any number a, there exists a rational number minus a such that a plus minus a is 0. Like 3 plus minus 3 is 0. Similarly, for multiplication we have multiplicative inverse. For every rational number a, there exists a rational number 1 upon a such that a into 1 upon a is equal to 1. A and a gets cancelled. You can see this in the textbook. It is given in tabular form. Okay. After that, we have about the terminating type and non-terminating type recurring decimals. Okay. So now let us revise it in short. We saw the various examples here. I am displaying all the examples at a time because already this is discussed in the previous lecture. So you can see here the three examples are of terminating type. That means if we start dividing 2 by 5, the division ends here immediately at 0.4. See, 2 is smaller than 5, so first we have written 0, then point, and then 5 4s are 20. So we got the answer as 0.4. Similarly here if we divide 7 by 64, okay, obviously minus sign is there, so here also we have minus sign, but while dividing we are going to divide 7 by 64. So when we divide it, the division ends after these 6 digits. Okay, that means here we are getting the remainder 0. Same thing here. After this 3 digit we are going to get remainder 0. So these divisions are called as what? Terminating type. Because the division ends somewhere, we get the remainder 0 somewhere. Opposite to that, these divisions 17 divided by 36 or 33 divided by 26 or 56 divided by 37. Here what we can observe is the division is never ending. We are not getting the remainder 0 anywhere. Okay, or everywhere. See, this dot 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 shows that it is infinite. We have seen in sets that the division here is never ending, or we can say that non-terminating type. It is not terminating anywhere. We are not getting the remainder 0. But what you can observe here is after 4 7 the third digit 2 is repeated again and again. That is why it is written as 0.472 and dot is kept to show that 2 is recurring. So it is called as non-terminating recurring type. Here you will observe that after 2 these 6 digit 692307 they are recurring. They are repeated again and again. That complete set is repeated again and again. That is why here the bar is put on all the 6 digits. Okay. Similarly here the 3 digits 513 are recurring. So the division is 1.513 recurring. Okay. So this is the difference between terminating type and non-terminating recurring type. Then if you can recall, I told you that without dividing also, simply by observing the denominator we can understand whether the division is terminating one or non-terminating recurring one. How to identify that? So here we have to factorize the denominator. So 5 we can write as 5 into 1, but not to consider 1. We have to only think of prime factors. So here 5 is the only prime factor. In case of 64, you know that 64 we can write 2 into 2 into 2 6 times. So here 2 is the only factor. Here 5 is the only factor. Then if you think of 8, 8 again is 2 into 2 into 2. So 2 is the only factor. Think of 10. 10 is what? 2 into 5. If we divide by 10, then also the division is terminating type. If we divide by 20, then also is terminating type. Okay, so now why does this happen here? Because for 10 or 20, if you think of 10, you will write 10 as 2 into 5. So here, if the division, in the division here, if the denominator is having factors 2 or 5, okay, or 2 and 5, then and then only the division is terminating one. If you have any other factor present there, then it is non-terminating one. Like for 36, how we will write 36? 36 is 12 into 3 you can write, and then 12 again you can write as 4 into 3. 4 you can write as 2 into 2. So for 36 you have factors 2 and 3. Okay, but what is our condition? We should have 2 and 5 or 2 or 5. Okay, so here we are getting 3 as the another factor. That is why the division is non-terminating recurring type. Similarly here 13 twos are. 13 is a prime number. So the factors are different or other than 2 or 5. That is why again it is non-terminating recurring type. Similarly 37 also is a prime number. So here the factors are not 2 and 5. That is why this one also is non-terminating recurring type. Okay. So simply by observing we can tell whether it is terminating or non-terminating recurring. Okay. Now after this we are going to study exactly opposite thing. See here P upon Q form is there, and that we have expressed in the decimal form. Okay. Or non-terminating recurring type. Now exactly opposite thing we will study now. If we have this non-terminating recurring type of decimal fraction, then how to convert it to P upon Q form, that we will see. Okay. So first let us discuss the textual examples. Okay. That is why the heading is to express the recurring decimal in P upon Q form. Okay. So let us see the first example here. Example number 1. Express the recurring decimal 0.777 in P upon Q form. Okay, 7 is recurring here. So let us see now here how to do it. Okay. First of all, you have to observe the number of recurring digits. How many digits are recurring again and again. So here what we can observe is 7 is the only one digit which is recurring. Okay, this is important. If only one digit is recurring, then we are going to take 10 as a multiplication factor. If 2 are recurring, then we are going to take 100. If 3 are there, then we are going to take 1000. Okay. So now when I will explain you, that time you will understand it better. Okay. First of all, this given recurring decimal we will consider as x. Okay. So always write down, let x is equal to 0.777, that means 7 recurring, which we can express as 0.7 and dot on 7, which shows that 7 is recurring. Okay. So here, as I have said, since we have only one digit, here we are going to multiply both the sides by 10. Okay. So when we multiply it by 10, here we will get 10x. Okay. And when you are multiplying by 10, that means you are shifting by one position. Okay. So this decimal point is going to appear after 7. So we will get 7.777 and so on, which we can write as 7.7 recurring. Okay. So this is x. X is 0.7 recurring and 10x is 7.7 recurring. Now let us subtract these two. What we are going to do is, we are going to do 10x minus x. Okay. So that will be, see on left hand side, 10x minus x, and here 7.7 recurring minus 0.7 recurring. So if you subtract here, this recurring 7 will get cancelled. We will get 0 there. And 7 minus 0 is 7. So what we will get here? 9x is equal to 7. See, 10x minus x, that will give us 9x. 9x is equal to 7 and therefore x is equal to 7 divided by 9. That means 7 upon 9. So we have expressed these 0.777, that is recurring decimal, in P upon Q form. That means in the numerator denominator form. Now here 7 is prime number and here we have 9. So we cannot reduce it further. If possible, here we can reduce also further. Okay. So this way we have to express this recurring decimal in P upon Q form. Now since here one digit was there, we multiplied here by 10. If there are 2 digits, we have to multiply by 100. If there are 3 digits, we have to multiply by 1000. Remaining all the steps are similar. Okay. Let us see one more example from the textbook itself. See, finally the answer is given. Second one, express the recurring decimal 7.529, 529, 529 and so on in P upon Q form. So count the recurring digits here, 1, 2, 3. So here 3 digits are recurring. Okay, so we can put a bar on that. We cannot put a dot on that. Okay, so take a note of this. Also here we have to multiply by 1000. Why? Because we have 3 digits. So all the remaining steps are similar. Only in the previous one we have multiplied by 10. Here we have to multiply by 1000. Okay. As I have said, the solved examples also are equally important. So you should see these examples when the video you are watching. You should keep your textbook open and you should try to understand the method there. Okay. So the very first step, we have to consider this given decimal recurring as the x. Okay. So write down, let x is equal to 7.529529 and so on, which we can write as 7.529 recurring. Correct? These 3 digits are recurring. So bar is appearing on these 3 digits. Then as I have said, we have decided the multiplication, that by what to multiply here. So that factor is 1000. Why? Because we have here 3 digits. So let us multiply both the sides by 1000. Okay. So what we are going to get? 1000x. Now since we are multiplying by 1000, this decimal point is going to shift by 3 places. Correct? So this decimal point will appear after 9. So what we will get? 7529.5 529 recurring, which we can express in this form. Okay, now the next step is to subtract. What we are going to do? 1000x minus x, and here also 7529.529 recurring minus 7.529 recurring. Okay, so simply to subtract here, left hand side from left hand side, see, and right hand side from the right hand side of the previous equation. Okay, so 1000x minus x, you are going to get 999x, and here this recurring 529 will get cancelled, and here 7529 minus 7, so 9 minus 7, 2. What is our answer? 7522. What we will get? 999x is equal to 7522. And then the value of x will be, obviously we have to take this 999 in denominator. So x is equal to 7522 divided by 999. And therefore we can write down then that 7.529 recurring is same as 7522 divided by 999. Okay. So these were the solved examples. No need to write them, only you need to understand them. Okay. Now let's go further. So whatever we have discussed about terminating and non-terminating, so we will see the important points here. You will find that in your textbook there is a section which is under the heading remember this, and there all the important points you will find. So the first important point here is the number of recurring digits after decimal point in the given rational number. We have to count first, and then accordingly we have to decide whether we have to multiply by 10, 100 or 1000. For example, if only one digit is there, then you are going to multiply by 10. Okay, so when you want to convert this recurring decimal in P upon Q form, always take a note of this digit which is recurring. If it is 1, then multiply by 10. Similarly, if the digits are 2, you have to multiply by 100. If the digits are 3, you have to multiply by 1000. So count the number of recurring digits and accordingly you have to multiply. Okay, so this is about how to express the recurring decimal in P upon Q form. And the second thing which we have discussed in the beginning, that is the second point, that when we want to decide whether the given fraction is terminating one or non-terminating recurring one, then we have to see its denominator. Okay, that means we have to see the prime factors of the denominator. Those prime factors, they should be 2 or 5. Then and then only the decimal expansion is terminating. And other prime factors other than 2 and 5, if they are occurring, then the decimal expansion is non-terminating and recurring. Okay, so simply by observing also we can tell that. Now let us see practice set 2.1 based on this. Okay, so all of you please open your notebooks, be ready with your pen so that you can write down the answers along with me. As I have said, if you are lagging behind, pause the video and write it. But see, please do complete your notebook. You know that there are internal marks reserved for the notebook. Okay. So let us start with practice set 2.1. I hope you all of you must be ready with your notebook and pen. So first question here is, classify the decimal form of the given rational numbers into terminating and non-terminating recurring type. Just now the second point we discussed, that to decide whether the rational numbers are terminating or non-terminating recurring, we have to observe the denominator. we have to see the prime factors of the denominator. As I have said, if the prime factors are 2 or 5, then it is terminating one. And if the factors are other than 2 or 5, then it is non-terminating one. So let us see the first one here. 13 upon 5. So here 5 is the only prime factor. So what we can say is this particular rational number is terminating because the denominator is equal to 5. Okay. Then second one, 2 upon 11. 11 is a prime number and it is not having factors like 2 or 5. So what we can say is it is non-terminating because the denominator is 11. 11, you cannot write its prime factors as 2 or 5. Next, 29 upon 16. So think of 16. How you will express 16? 16 you can write as 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 4 times. 4 times you can write down. So here the only prime factor is 2 and therefore it is terminating. Okay, terminating because the denominator is 16, which we can write in the form of 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 4 times. Okay, so our condition is what? We should have the prime factors as 2 or 5. So here since we have 2 as a factor, it is terminating one. Next one, all of you can guess now. 17 upon 125. How you will express 125? 125 means 5 into 5 into 5 3 times. Okay, that is why it is again terminating. Because 125 we can write as 5 into 5 into 5. Last one, 11 upon 6. Guess, terminating or not terminating? Yes, it is non-terminating. Why? Because the factors of 6 are 2 into 3. 3 is not allowed. Okay, either we should have 2, we should have 5, or we should have 2 or 5. Okay, so only 2 digits are permitted here, or 2 factors are permitted. They are what? 2 and 5. Other than 2 and 5, if they are appearing, then it is non-terminating one. See, for 11 it is non-terminating. For 6 the factors are 2 and 3, so it is non-terminating. Okay, so here to decide it whether it is terminating or non-terminating, you don't have to divide actually. Simply by observing the denominator and getting its factors like this, you can tell whether the fraction is terminating or non-terminating. Got it? Let's go further now towards the second question. Write the following rational numbers in decimal form. So here to write this, you are going to divide it actually. Okay, now division you can do in many ways. Like here see 127 divided by 200. So one will go to an actual division, that 127 divided by 200, and will get the answer. Or somebody will say that since here it is 200 is given, I will write 200 as 2 into 100 and then simply I will put the point here 1.27 divided by 2. It will do, you can do it, but you have to divide it actually. Okay, now here I am not dividing actually, I am giving you the answer. All of you please divide the first one, 127 divided by 200. That means 1.27 divided by 2. See, because of these 2 zeros, the decimal point will appear here. That is 1.27 divided by 2. Now since you have 2 here, the division is terminating 1. Okay, so see what is the answer. I am displaying the answer now. Check your answer. 127 divided by 200 is 0.635. Check whether you got the correct answer. See, 1.27 divided by 2. Okay. Next one, 25 divided by 99. So here also you have to go for actual division. Go for actual division. Make a sign of division. Write down 25 inside and 99 outside here. 99 is divisor here. Okay, don't write reverse 99 inside and 25 outside, because generally you think that bigger number it appears inside. So but it is different case. So 25 divided by 99, if you divide, you are going to get answer like this. Okay, 25 upon 99. So you are getting 0.2525 and so on. The division is never ending. It is recurring type. You can clearly see here 99 is there. Okay, so we can express it like this, 0.25 recurring. Third one, 23 divided by 7. 7. So here the factors are not 2 or 5. So what it means is, again the division is non-terminating recurring type. You have to go on dividing here. You have to divide 23 by 7. Okay, the division will terminate, or it will be, you will find that again it is recurring after these 6 digits. See, 3.28714. This complete set of 6 digit is recurring again and again. So we can write it as 3.285714 recurring. Okay, now here 4 upon 5. See, the factor is 5. Prime factor is 5. So immediately you can tell that it is terminating type. Okay, and very easy, 5 8s are 40. So answer is 0.8. It is terminating one. Fifth one, 17 divided by 8. So 8 we can write as 2 into 2 into 2. So again here also the division is terminating. Okay, so when you divide 17 by 8, then your answer is 2.125. What you can observe here is, generally when you divide by 8, no, here you get 3 digits. Okay, so all of you please divide it actually and see whether you are getting the same answers or what. And you can check for the rule also, which we have seen, that when the factors are 5 or 2, then and then only the division is terminating one. You can see the examples 1, 4 and 5. Opposite to that, if we have other factors than 2 or 5, then the division is non-terminating recurring type. Okay, now let's go further towards question number 3. So solved examples we have discussed this type, and here see question number 4 and 5, they might be cancelled. So because since the education department has declared that 25% syllabus will be reduced, but still till date we have not got any official letter from that side. But last year these two were cancelled. So let us see the first one here, 0.6 recurring. So only one digit is recurring. That means here we need to multiply by 10. That we have seen in the under the heading, remember this. Okay, so let us see the first one, 0.6 recurring. So we have to consider this as x. So write down that x is equal to 0.666 and so on, which is equal to 0.6 recurring. See, one more thing here I want to clear you, that you have to use the same method, which is textual method. Okay, don't solve it by any other method. Okay, so follow the same steps. Now since here only one digit is recurring, you know the multiplicative factor, that is 10. We have to multiply both the places by 10. Here also and here also. So when we will multiply here by 10, this decimal point will shift by one place. Okay, so we will get 10x is equal to 6.666 recurring, which we can write as 6.6 recurring. Now the next step is to subtract. Okay, so subtract 10x minus x is equal to 6.6 recurring minus 0.6 recurring. So subtract it like this, left hand side minus left hand side. Similarly, right hand side of second equation minus right hand side of first equation. So 10x minus x, you will get 9x here, and here you will get 6. Okay, so you will get 9x is equal to 6, and therefore x is equal to 6 divided by 9, which we can reduce further, and we can write it as 2 upon 3, and therefore the P upon Q form of this 0.6 recurring is 2 upon 3. Okay, all of you please complete it. Now let us go further. The third question I am taking. Second question is similar to this. Here you have to multiply by 100. Now here, since here before decimal place also we have one digit, so I have taken this third sum. So 3.17 recurring. The very first step that you have to take the given decimal fraction as x. So let x is equal to 3.1717 and so on. That is 3.17 recurring. Now since here two digits are there, we have to multiply by 100. So write down, therefore 100x is equal to, this will shift by 2 places. So 317.1717 recurring, that is 317.17 recurring. The next step is to subtract. All of you know the steps now. So 100x minus x we have written on left hand side, and on right hand side 317.17 minus 3.17. Okay, recurring of course. So when we are subtracting here, we are going to get 317 minus 3, that is 314, and here we are going to get 99. So what we will write, 99x is equal to 314, and therefore x is equal to 314 divided by 19. Okay, so this way we are going to solve it. Question number 2 you solve as homework. Okay, now if you want, you can solve these for as a practice. Okay, but most probably they are not there, they are under reduced portion. Okay, now in the next lecture we will see the next part. Okay, we will learn about irrational numbers. We have learned about rational numbers now. Okay students, so try to understand and practice it better. Okay, so students, today I am stopping here. We will meet in next lecture. Till that, you stay home, stay safe, take care of yourself. Thank you students.